We can observe a cell being divided up into several additional cells in the opening image. Then, a primordial proto-human is seen drinking water from a lake. After stating that life originated billions of years ago, Lucy wonders what humans have done with it since. Lucy, a young American woman in the present, is seen with her week-long boyfriend Richard in front of a hotel in Taiwan. She is being asked to carry a briefcase up to a Mr. Jiang's room. Lucy is promised $500, but declines to do anything for Richard without understanding what it is he needs her to bring. As a result, Richard binds Lucy's wrist to the suitcase handle, giving her no other option. When she enters the lobby, she hesitantly introduces herself to the clerk, before informing her that Richard is sending her up to Jiang, before being shot and killed. Richard was attempting to be encouraging when Lucy looked out the window and saw him smiling. Lucy is compelled to ascend with a group of goons, after they forcefully exit the elevator. They deliver Lucy to Jiang's residence. Lucy starts to throw up because there are bloody bodies on the ground. Jiang emerges from the room with bloody hands. He makes a phone call to a man to translate for Lucy. She sobs, unsure of what is happening or why it is occurring. The code to open the briefcase is number 140, which Jiang records on a piece of paper. While his soldiers are preparing themselves with weapons and shields, Jiang enters the subsequent chamber. The briefcase, which is filled with 4 1-kilogram bags of blue powdered crystals, is opened by Lucy. A drugged-up man is brought in by Jiang to snort some of the blue powder, before Jiang shoots him in the head. The man briefly convulses and then breaks out in insane laughter. After that, Lucy is told to perform a task but refuses until she is smacked. In a hotel room, Lucy awakens. Her stomach is wrapped with a bandage. When Jiang's men enter, they toss her some clothing. Along with 3 other males, she is brought to Jiang in order to explain to Lucy that she and the other guys had a substance called CPH4 inserted into their lower intestines. A British man known as the Limey enters the room. After that, one of the guys attempts to get into Lucy's jeans before chaining her up and kicking her in the stomach where they had already cut into her. As a result, the medication bag tears, letting the powder into Lucy's body. She starts to wriggle and flail around the room, reaching even for the ceiling before falling back to the ground. Throughout this, Professor Samuel Norman is shown lecturing at school on his studies on the potential of the brain. He essentially discusses what may occur if humans were to use more of their brains than the recommended 10% capability. What would happen if humanity reached 100%? A student wonders Norman. He claims he doesn't know. Lucy regains consciousness, her eyes flashing a brilliant blue. She is more at ease than previously as she sits erect. When a thug enters the room, Lucy stretches her legs out to tempt him. The criminal grinned and placed his weapon on the table. Lucy grabs his belt as he approaches her and turns him over, before moving the table to retrieve the revolver. She shoots the other thugs as they are eating. After she has freed herself, she is shot in the shoulder but manages to remove the bullet painlessly. She then devours the food left over by the thugs before departing. After shooting one of the 2 cab drivers, she meets outside in the street to take her to the hospital. Lucy has heightened senses and can hear voices outside the car. As she travels to the hospital, when she arrives at the hospital, she can see the signs as clearly as if they were written in English for her. When she enters the operating room, a man is being treated by the medical staff. Lucy examines the man's X-ray images before shooting him, telling the medical staff that the tumor in his brain had already spread too far for them to be able to rescue him. She makes the medical professionals remove the sac from her stomach. She then makes a call to her mother to explain that she can feel everything, including the air, the blood in her veins, and the heat exiting her body. She can also access the most intimate details of her memories, including being ill as a child, or even touching a cat when she was just a year old. Before hanging up, she calls her mother to express her love. When the doctor removes the bag of drugs from Lucy's stomach, she tells him that it is CPH4, and he tells her that he is surprised Lucy has survived this long with it in her body, because pregnant women produce this substance 6 weeks into their pregnancy as nutrients for the fetus. Jang is currently receiving a tattoo and a facial, so Lucy takes one more stop before returning to the hotel to locate him. Before stabbing both of Jang's hands, she dispatches his guards and drives the tattoo artist away. She performs a Vulcan mind meld into his brain, using her newly acquired abilities and using images from their aircraft tickets. She deduces the destinations of the other 3 drug mules. Jang screams in agony as she departs. To use a laptop, Lucy visits her friend Caroline's flat. She quickly reads through all of Norman's research, then gets in touch with him to let him know what she's read. Even as she continues to describe her feelings and experiences, after reaching up to 20% brain capacity, he's shocked to learn that she read everything. Her appearance on Norman's hotel room TV, phone, and radio demonstrate her ability to manipulate electronics in a day. She wants to meet with him. As Lucy travels through the airport, she alters the color and style of her hair because it has been widely known that she shot the patient. She contacts Captain Pierre Del Rio, a French police officer, to let him know about the additional drug mules. She then gets on the airplane and continues her studies on the brain while typing quickly on her laptop. Lucy requests a glass of champagne when the flight attendants ask her to switch off her computer. She also tells one of the flight attendants to clean her nose without turning around, which causes the other passenger's nose to bleed. Lucy accepts the champagne glass and raises it to knowledge, toasting it as 40% appears on screen. She spits up 3 additional teeth after finding a tooth in her drink, then, in full front of the passengers and flight attendants, her skin begins to deteriorate. When Lucy enters the bathroom, her face starts to melt and her fingers start to vanish. She takes out the remaining CPH4 and inhales it to return to normalcy, but she faints. After they have captured the other mules, Lucy awakens in a hospital room where Del Rio and a few other officers and medics are waiting. G, one of Jang's goons, enters the area in search of the other mules with more armed men. When Lucy exits the room, armed men are waiting for her. She takes G's drugs and turns to leave, but she instructs Del Rio to follow. In a university, where Lucy and Del Rio find Norman and his colleagues, she starts to reveal everything she has learned about how much smarter she is now than the average person. While everything is going on, Jang and his men sneak into the area and begin firing. Lucy is sent hundreds of kilometers to Times Square. When G fires a rocket launcher through the room, with a wave of her hand, she can alter time. The proto-human from the opening scene. They make contact with their fingers, propelling Lucy through the universe, all of space, and all of time, giving her limitless power. As soon as he steps inside, Jang lifts his rifle slowly toward Lucy's head. She then achieves 100%. Her clothing remain in place, but her body vanishes. Jang fires his rifle ineffectively. Del Rio enters and fatally shoots Jang. The room's dark matter vanishes and transforms into a flash drive. which lands in Norman's hands and allows him to expand and finish his research. "Where is Lucy?" Del Rio queries. He receives a message on his phone that reads, "I am everywhere," with Lucy's voiceover stating that this is what can be done with life. Hope you enjoyed watching. Please subscribe to my channel to watch more movie reviews. Hit the like and notification bell. Thank you.